Likutei Torah, Parshas Tzav, page 26, second column, is Dalet. The Rebbe so far is explaining there's a Matzah before Chatzeis and after Chatzeis. And the difference is one is with the revelation from above, one is without the revelation from above. Nevertheless, there needs to be a keli, so Hashem commanded them at night to eat matzah as a keli to be able to handle the gilui of after Chatzeis. So he says, but nevertheless, this matzah that's before Chatzeis, Hine b'china matzah zu tzricha shimur. This matzah needs to be guarded. It shouldn't become chametz. So like it says, l'shmartem some matzahs. You have to guard the matzahs, meaning that it shouldn't become chametz. Hainu lishma min achitzainim. To guard from the external forces, shlo yovel lidei chimutz. It shouldn't come to the level of chametz, which is gasus visnasus, haughtiness and ego. Hainu liyosef b'chinas yirat. Because this level of yira is a lower level of yira, and it's a level of amunah not above seichel, but lower than seichel. So it's a lower level of amunah. Alkein tzricha shimur needs to be guarded. Alkein nikra matzahs chosavav. That's why the word matzahs is without a vav, because it's without the hamshachah mumayla, and therefore adayin b'chinas katnus. It's a level of small. Also matzah, also the word matzah, there's a pasuk matzah meriva, which means fighting. Matzah besides matzah also means fighting. The lashon metzusa can mean matzah meriva. Like it says in the Zerich, the given definition of base. Shemeriva liyas bittul yash gasus. What is the level of the fighting to make the bittul of the yesh? It's a milchama. It's a milchama with the Yetzer Hara. To make that level of milchama with the Yetzer Hara, it should be bittul. Al derech la'elam yargiz adam Yetzer teval Yetzer Hara. Valkein, and therefore ha'isakaim chatzeis. Therefore, it's before Chatzeis, before Nigla Lem Melch Malchem Lochem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mashein kein in your matzah base. But the second level of matzah, who achar Chatzeis dafka, achar shekar b'Pesach, achar shenigla Aleim. Afterwards, there's Gilui. And that Gilui is Amunah higher than Das. And that Amunah can never become Chametz. In what? You lost me. Okay, good. Find me. Inyan of Pesach. What is the Inyan of Pesach? What it says in the pasuk of Pesach, Hashem. Hashem passed over. He jumped over. It's a jumping, not in the normal routine of world. World is normal, gradual. You walk step by step by step. You know, every step is next to the next. And then the same level. So passing over means you skip. Dilug, that's the level of l'mayla mehishtalshelus. V'mer gadol gilu shchina, which is ard into baruch shel mayla mehishtalshelus ha'ilimis, which is much greater than hishtalshelus ha'ilimis, which is hoya mer mizgal az benafshem. After Chatzeis, when Hashem's essence revealed himself to the Jewish people, that level of Gilui is much greater than world. In that level of Gilui, there is no evil. In the Matzah before Chatzeis, before the revelation of Hashem, the pasuk says, "Ushmartem es matzahs." You have to guard the matzahs; they shouldn't become chametzik. Why? Because it's connected to evil, and that's why the Chassidus explains. By Yetzias Mitzrayim, it says, "Vayugad lemel in Parshas B'Shalach." Vayugad lemel Mitzrayim, kivod achab. It's told to the king of Egypt that Eden ran away. Yeah, why did you have to run away? But when Mashiach comes, it says, they're not going to run out of Golus. They're going to go step by step by step. What's the difference? In Mitzrayim, because it was before Matan Torah, before the Avodah of Golus, before Matan Torah, the Yidden were connected to evil. And therefore, to give a physical muscle, if somebody's addicted to cigarettes and you want to stop, you can't even be near cigarettes. You can't even be in a room where people are smoking. You have to run away, alcohol, whatever it may be. You have to run away from it. Why? Because you're still connected to it, any little thing can bring you back.
Temptation, very tempting.
So that's why, by Mitzrayim, where they were still connected, because it wasn't the Gil of Matan Torah yet, they had to be Varacham, they didn't have to run out of Mitzrayim, run like Dilug in the... But here he says like this, before Chatzais, there was no Gili at the Holocaust, it was the lower level of Emunah, below Seichel, therefore the Yidden needed, is Emunah lower than Seichel, then they needed the guarding. But after Chatzais, when it was Pasach Hashem, it was a higher level than Ishtalshalus, so then, Kiloi Chametz, it can't become Chametz. And that's why the expression is Nigla Aleim Melech Malchei Hamlochim, the king of the kings of the kings. What's this? Melech, what is Melech Malchei Hamlochim? He says, Pirush Malchei Hamlochim. Now in Hebrew, Lashon Kodesh, when it says plural, it means two, unless if it says how many, right? Miat Rabim Shnayim. So it says Malchei Hamlochim. Malchi is two, Malachim is two. That's 4 levels. Malchi Malachim hein the Daled Malchus Shemer Ba'arba Ilmas Atzilus B'riyutzi Yosiyah. So Melech, Malchus and Melech. So Malchi Hamlachim is the 4 levels of Malchus of Atzilus and B'riyah and Yitzir and Asiyah. Melech Malchi Hamlachim is the level of Malchus which is even higher than Atzilus, higher than worlds. Melech Malchi Hamlach Malchus da Ein Sof. Shaydei bechinas gilui zeh dafka through this gilui of niglalem melech malchem, in other words, it was revealed to them a level of melech malchem amlochem, the level of higher than ishtalshelus, the gilui of above, u'ga'olam, like it says v'avayt tibert mitzrayim adin v'loy malach. It wasn't a messenger of Hashem. It was the essence of Hashem. That's why it's called not the lower level of Yira, Meira Gadol, the higher level of Yira. Because Yira in Hebrew is feminine. It ends with a hey. So Yira is feminine. That's Yira Tata Nimshach Bechinas Malchus Datzilis Briyatze B'chol El Mefiyaseh. That's the receiving end. Ochein Meira Gadol, Meira is masculine. Yira, what I had at the end, is feminine. Meira Gadol, that's masculine. Okay, which means Lashon Zachar, that's the level of Yira Ilah, the higher level of Yira, which is not the receiver, the feminine, but the giver, the mashpia, is tchat. So therefore, where did the Eden get this level of Meira Gadol? That's with the Gila, Melech, Malchi, Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But by the way, Melech, Malchi, Amlochim is the 4 levels of Malchus, and Melech is the 5th level, and then Kadosh Baruch Hu, the way it comes into the world. What? What? Malchus to Malchus Kol Elam. That's also the 4 worlds. Okay. Achmat v'zeu in your Matzah beisha acher chatzes. The Matzah Zud, that's the level of Bittul, Meira Gadol, a Bittul, higher than world. Achmat the Kerim Chatzes is Yira Tata, Ve'amunah K'meshin established B'chinas Shalamat Midas Musik. But before Chatzes, Before Chatzais, the Yidden had this lower level of Yira, lower than Seichel, and therefore that needs to be guarded, because it's still connected to evil. V'zel b'chinas na Yisrael, chesed nu rayich. It says in the pasuk na Yisrael ve'aveu. Another pasuk says zochayti lo chesed nu rayich. Chesed nu rayich when you were a nar, when you were a kid, because the Koriyas tineg abba. That's what the Yidden were on, like the baby level, that they didn't even know how to say father yet until they ate, from the matzah. Ava b'chin is a bit of the matzah zo sha'achar chatzeis is bit of amiti v'yira ilah shenim sheb'chin is gilui. It's the gilui mashal amayla me'adas hamutzik she'eiraz b'nafshem. Okay, this is a gilui from above, which is higher than the four. It's similar a little bit. I don't know if it's exactly that. But on Yom Kippur, you have the 5 levels. So normally you have the 4 levels. Yud Kei Vav Kei is 4 levels. Yom Kippur is Lifnei Havaya, higher than a Havaya, higher than Ishtalshalis, and that's why Kaparik is the same concept. It's a Gilui of higher than world, and therefore over there it refers to Tshuva, or here it refers to the level of Yira. Vainam Negili earns of Shelmai Mishtalshus. Sheheir Azalem Umayla Lamata on the level of Isirusa Doleila. That came from above. But the Yidden still needed a Keli, as he said before. They had to eat the matzah before midnight, just to be a little vessel to get a Gilui after midnight. They had to do something, V'zeu yemei gadol zugil shchina. V'alkein b'china matzah zu. Ein tzarich shimer mechimetz klal. Therefore, this gilui, which is total bittul, there's no gaiva, there's no chametz, there's no evil. Shu b'chin yashiv me'achar shein l'chitzena b'chin sachiza v'yenika b'chin zu. He says, ki yire ilah is earned abba, shadeicha chitzena pushes off the external levels, but yira tata, or i.e. the matzah before chatzais, that needs shimur. Okay, and he says, that's what the pasuk says. The dough didn't have a chance to rise. That goes under both levels. Number 1, it can't become chametz. I'm sorry, this refers to the second level after chatzais. Dem yechot lachmetz klam ne eitzem agile beginnes melch malche amlochem shenigla land was revealed she'oz she'ein sham yinik v'achil chitzeinim, which is yes visnasis yinik chametz. Okay, so now Tzav is elaborating on this, but the bottom line is the gilui after chatzais was a level of matzah as the pasuk ki loy chametz, it couldn't become chametz.
Then after chatzos, having food is coming down. There's such a big giver. There's such a tumult, and everybody wants to get up out of this time.
Yeah.
So they don't do anything. They make matzah.
No, they didn't make matzah. Matzah became made. Matzah became made because they had dough and it just didn't rise.
So they made a dough.
Yeah, they had to make money. They made dough.
How to dough?
Okay, V'zawiyin, that's what it says. Shleihis big b'tzeiger shavesein la'achmitz. Ashenig la'aleim melech m'shakoy al beis b'chin in abeis. Dein b'chol te la'achmitz klal memnei eitz and agilui. B'chinas melech malchei amlochim. The 5 levels. Shenig la'aleim shem shom yanik v'achizol l'chitzeinim, which is yesh v'snasus, which is called chametz. Okay? And that's what it said, for sabosek ugis matzahs. By the way, that's another level why the matzahs are round. Ugis matzahs. Uga is round. Why a pikaboli you're supposed to have dafka round shmura matzah, not square?
Practical, but they made everything. All the bread all over the world is round.
Yeah, you ever go buy a box of matzah in the store? It's square.
No, but this is a modern invention. But throughout history, all over the world, everything was round.
I wasn't around in...
No, but you know...
Okay, whatever you say. I trust you. So, what's the in uga's matzah? Because again, uga is no beginning or end. There's no top or bottom. That's the level of makif. Because matzah, especially after chatzais, so we eat before chatzais, the matzah after chatzais, so it's uga's matzahs. Because they were driven out of Mitzrayim. And not like we said before, they didn't walk out of Mitzrayim.
Sorry, I have to correct myself.
Good.
A lot of different shapes.
Shem Shum, okay.
Sorry.
We'll take it at the next board meeting. Shem Shum Achiz Klal Mitzrayim of Nigla Lehem Vim came Mela Nimshach Mizaki Loy Chometz. In other words, Garshim in Mitzrayim means it was a Gilui Milmaila that made him run away from evil. That means no connection to evil. So that is a level because of the Gilui of Melech Malchei Amlochim. Lochein av shebi lichosim Mitzrayim abayim l'ramses. Even though they're kvitzas aderech, but seed of asher tzitzu eish lafis. He said like this, they had to make a fire for the matzah to bake, right? He said, Vadi Shabbat Geisim Gdish Shechemutz. When they were running out of Mitzrayim, yeah, they had to make a fire. And so definitely took more than 18 minutes. Yet I'm called Zaloi Chometz Mitama now. Because it couldn't become Chometz. It was a gilui that negated any level of evil whatsoever. Therefore, the matzahs after chatzais, in other words, ba'ed of techlu matzahs before chatzais, that's without a vav. When they made uges matzahs after midnight, that's matzah with a vav. Like we say in davening, we say like this: Hakel hagadol hagiber v'haneda. Why do we say v'haneda? We say Hakel hagadol hagiber haneda kel elyon. Why do we say v'haneda? What? No.
No, it's also, in addition to those attributes, is also awesome.
You daven today?
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Hakel, listen. Hagadol, Hagibar, Kel Elyon, Geimer Chasadim Tevim, Keini Hakel. All those without vavs. Because that's the end. Oh, no. Here is the middle of a thing. So it says this is the Vahaneda refers to Neda, not Yira, which is feminine. Vahaneda, the level of Gilui of the Vav of Neda, the matters after Chatzais. Hamshacha nimshel b'chinas meira gadol. V'yiri lo k'mei shanim b'teivad neirak b'teises Vav. Mashenken ha-gadol ha-giber is without a Vav. Shameshenken yirat which is Adai and Matzah's Chosevav, that's without the Vav, therefore it needs Tzricha Shimur. Me'achitzeinim, but Matzah base, which is after with the Vav, doesn't need to be guarded. Okay? When there's such a Gilui of Elokus, evil can't exist. Okay, so now he says like this, now we can answer the question that he asked before. We say in the Agada, matzah zu shana echlim, the matzah we eat now, which is before chatzais. Right? Halachically, you have to eat the matzah by the seder before chatzais. If you eat it after chatzais, you're not yetz in the mitzvah matzah. You have to eat it before midnight. Yeah? I'm not talking about afikim, I'm talking about the achil of matzah. Now, but when they say, excuse me, And the Agada Matzah Zu Shana Eichlem Al Shumah, Al Shum Shali Hizbik B'Tzeichel Shal V'Sein Al Achmet Ad Shenigla L'Melchma, which is the Matzah after Chatzos. So L'chayri asked the question before, Matzah Zu Shana Eichlem is the Matzah before Chatzos. Yet we're saying Al Shumah. What's the purpose of it? Because the dough didn't have a chance to rise after Chatzos. So we're mixing both matzahs together. She said, Yesh l'tad, yesh l'shov, and atir tzakos shanis kelil. Eicha nohem matzah zu shanech l'keinu Chatzos laila. Shashum shalih avazah b'chinas matzah beis. Shalheisa la'achar shenigla. I know after Chatzos. So which one is it? He says, this difference is explained now, the difference between the first matzah, that there's a difference, this before, after needs, that's before Matan Torah. Before Matan Torah, there was a difference between the matzah before Chatzos and the matzah after Chatzos. Kizol calls a dafke bizman shoy Yisrael as begos Mitzrayim. They didn't have Torah mitzvahs yet. To have the bit of a Yerilo Kenim Chatzos, it was only Kenim Chatzos so Yirak Matzahs Chosivov, which is Yira Tata, the level of lower fear, Batur Etzeinchom, which is the level of Bittul. Then, by eating matzah before Chatzos, then they were able to come to the matzah after Chatzos.
But they had a couple of mitzvot.
What did they have?
Hashem told them to tie the sheep.
That wasn't regular mitzvahs, by the way.
It wasn't a mitzvah?
I mean, they had mitzvah, bris milah, they had
It's a
mitzvah.
one-time thing.
Yeah, but bris milah they had that they didn't do, except Levi. They, the night of Yitzias Mitzrayim, they all did the bris, the medicine. Huh? He told them Rosh Chodesh Nisan, now is it the 15th. They didn't have a chance to proclaim any new month.
But the sheep is not a mitzvah? Hashem told me.
It was a temporary mitzvah. Wasn't
Continue.
and Hanami, that's all that was Abidama of the matzah before Chatzos. Avalacha shikal yisol Torah mitzvah Sinai. V'ani b'chol hashana kula, even before Pesach, mamshich and amshachas halukos haydei Torah mitzvahs. Now we bring down halukos every day of the year. So therefore, gam matzah zushan eichlim kedem chatzos. Yechelim anu haydei kiyam Torah mitzvahs, which is a whole year. The kabel b'chinas Gilui Shechina, from the level of Nigla Alei Melch Malchi Amloch Malchi Chatzos. So now he says, because now we have Torah mitzvahs, so therefore today, before Chatzos, we can receive the Matzah Gilui of after Chatzos. The only question is, as we'll soon see, so why do we have to guard the matzahs? It can't become chametz. When she calls the B'zerah Yetzi, Matzah b'kadmisa u'basim mitzvah. B'teitzis vav nimsa mechinas mitzvah. Zal mechinas madregas matzah beis, which is matzah smoli vav. Matzah is also mitzvahs with the vav. B'hainu lefi shayidei kiyum ateiram mitzvahs. Nimshach through the 613 and 7 rabbinic is 620, which is keser or tofresh chaf. Tarach amudi earn of Keser Elyin, Shazau Atmein Shenigla Le'am Malch Malchi Amlochim, which is the same Inyan of after Chatzos. So we, every day of the year, have this level of Acher Chatzos, because when we do mitzvahs, we bring down that level of Elokus. L'chem Hashenim Shech Lahem B'Chatzos Laila, which is Eis Rotzin, Nim Shech Lanu B'Matzah Zu Shanu Eichel Mal Kedem Chatzos. Why? Because we have Torah mitzvah, Sha'atz mitzvot and Elyon. So when we eat matzah before Chatzos, we get that gilui. The question is like this. Matzah zu sha'anu eichlim. Not what they ate in Egypt. Matzah zu sha'anu eichlim that we eat now after Matan Torah. Meaning, Bishleim b'yosim golus Mitzrayim. When they were in Mitzrayim, it was golus akriba sitrachem oid. They didn't have Torah mitzvahs. Therefore, they had to eat matzah kedem chatzais, which is matzah's chassidus, to hachana, preparation for the gili after chatzais. Mashenken anu shekvar nitan anu Torah mitzvahs. We have it. Im Kain, so if that's the case, Ma'u Inyan Nechidus Matzah Kain Chatzais Dafka. So now the question is, so why do we eat matzah before midnight? We should only eat matzah after midnight. They had to eat matzah before midnight to get eat for the gilui, for the matzah afterwards. But the question is, matzah, it's a question. Matzah Zoshon Eichem Al Shumah. So what's the question? Not what do we eat? L'chayra, we should eat it after Chatzais. Umeshana shum shli hispik pirish achilas matzah shalonu afal pishanu eichel neitzel lifnei chatzeis dafke eino in yevam shacha of it's not only the amshacha matzah echad dolvat the matzah before chatzeis al nim shel gam kim bechinu madregs matzah beis which is bittul meida gadol actually hispik b'tzegas v'gil matzah shenigal alem machmacham l'gol b'ochel. In other words, the question is, why do we eat matzah before chatzais? The answer is, yeah, the matzah we eat before chatzais is the matzah that they ate after chatzais. Because after matzah we have all these galuyim.
Why do you have to eat it before?
Huh?
Why do you have to eat it before?
What's that? You want to stay up later even? He says, and he says, skip something. Okay, that's come nigga gemach shu giller until shemai my mishtaushnes. Okay, so he said ve'ech menumazim beisam shachas b'matzah echad. Halu chayra, in the matzah we eat, which is one time, has both giluyim in it. Both concepts, the matzah before chatzais and the matzah after chatzais. Achnei the hafish ben chametz lematzah. Hudag ba'is hey is the letter hey, right? Ches mem tzadik hey. So it's a hey and a ches. So the difference is a hey. What makes matzah different chametz is a hey. Now the milui of a hey is a hey. Hey, right? Aleph is aleph, lamed pei, beis itself. The milui of hey is hey. L'chein nikra machpelah. Therefore hey is called the letter that's machpelah, like Maris the machpelah. And yet these two hays are in one letter. That means matzah, which is uniquely the hay, in that hay is hey. So it's the matzah before chatzais and the matzah after chatzais in the one matzah that we eat before chatzais. Okay.
Machpelah means
Double.
repetitive, right?
Double.
Kafur.
Really soft matzah is kosher?
Right, if it has a proper hechsher, I don't know.
The concept.
Why? Years ago is soft matzah. Why don't you close it?
Rabbi,